Good evening, folks. This is DriverLadyPro. They call me DriverLadyPro because I drive like a boss, but I try to stay classy like a lady. So we're still having technical difficulties with being able to have people come in the room, and everybody on my panel has my phone number. So we're just going to have to do it that way, have people call in. For tonight, I do have a pretty big lineup set up and a bunch of stuff that we can talk about. If you've never been in the room before, if this is your first time here, if you're not part of the pro team already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you can get more content just like this. Hey, fat man. Welcome to the room. You can call. So here is the deal. We are, this particular podcast is all about uniting rideshare drivers, delivery drivers, and passengers so that we can, inform everybody of what's going on in the ride-sharing community. A lot of people are victims, and I have included some in the description. Please, if you are a victim of a ride-sharing things that happen in the ride-sharing industry, please make sure that you hit up the description. There's very helpful hints and tips and tricks in the description. Also, if you have any questions that you would love to share with us, please hit up my description and let us know. We'll bring it up on the air. And I don't have to mention your name, but if you have any questions that you want us to talk about on the air, that would be freaking awesome. So I'm going to get this started. Right now, I can't, for some reason, I can't get Google Hangouts to work anymore. I can't. I don't know why. They went to beta version, and we'll just get this going the way it is right now. So one of the things that is a really big story that I wanted to do my own story, but as you guys know, I can't. I've been just so exhausted every minute of the day. So I'm just gonna.
In the suspect vehicle was that of the victim. Also, a cell phone belonging to the victim was found inside the passenger compartment of the suspect vehicle. And likewise located in the suspect vehicle was a container of liquid bleach, germicidal wipes, and window cleaner.
It scares me because my daughter is a freshman in college, so you can't let your kids.
I don't know if this is.
You never know what might happen.
In the suspect vehicle was that of the victim.
Yeah, I'm going to start again because I
Also,
thought
a
it was
cell
at the
phone
beginning.
belonging to the victim was found inside the passenger compartment of the suspect vehicle. And likewise located in the suspect vehicle was a container of liquid bleach, germicidal wipes, and window cleaner.
It scares me because my daughter is a freshman in college, so you can't let your kids leave out your eyesight. You never know what might happen.
Her saying yes, she liked to be called, was someone that was very outgoing, very bright. When I walked in the room to start teaching class, she was always ready to go.
Our hearts are broken. They're broken. There is nothing tougher than to stand before a family and explain how a loved one was murdered.
So let me stop this before. This really isn't telling the whole story. I thought it would, but university student got into the wrong car and was kidnapped and killed by suspect. Police say the police have arrested a man who say kidnapped Samantha Josephson in the University of Carolina and killed her. She thought it was a Uber car. Columbia police say a man kidnapped and killed a University Columbia police, said at University South Carolina student who mistakenly got into a car thinking it was her Uber. Guys, we're about raising awareness here. And one thing that happens all the time is people get in my car and I say, can I have the name on your ride? And they look at me like I'm asking them to, I'm like, oh, you just killed my firstborn child. I'm like, no, I'm trying to check to see if you are the right person that's supposed to be getting in my car. Until Uber actually gets IDs for each one of these people that are getting in and out of the car, we need at least this type of safety measure in place to make sure. And it's very important, as a passenger, you need to be checking and making sure that the license plate is the same, the person that's sitting in the vehicle is the same, everything matches. Okay, so I guess this girl was 21. Saturday night, that 24-year-old Nathaniel David Rowland is charged with murder. The girl was 21. Sounds like from the video, he was getting ready to, like, he had bleach or something. Our hearts are broken. Rowland waived his rights on Sunday at the Richland County Jail, which is his legal right. During the proceeding, the judge said his bond would have to be set by circuit court judge due to South Carolina law. Holbrook said Josephson, a senior political science major from New Jersey, had been hanging out with her friends between 1:30 and 2 a.m. Friday night at what was called the Bird House in the 700 at the five. Anyway, the Bird House is a bar, and I saw this, and basically the car pulled up, but she didn't check the license plate. She just got in. Of course, she's a little drunk. She's just gonna, sometimes when you're a little drunk, you're not thinking, oh, I should be checking the license plate. This is a very dangerous time. So let me finish with the video because I've kind of explained things.
Chief Holbrook not holding back tonight after a missing persons case turns into a homicide investigation. A USC student out in 5 Points called an Uber to get home, but she never made it. 21-year-old Samantha Josephson, known to friends as Sammy, went missing early Friday morning. She was last seen on surveillance video getting into a black Chevy Impala near the Bird Dog Bar. Friday afternoon, all calls to Josephson went unanswered. Police say her friends grew worried and called police. Early this morning, in the 5 Points area, police conducted a routine traffic stop on a car that fit the description in this case. Once officers asked the driver to step out of the car, investigators say he took off running.
Chevy Impala that was driven by the suspect had a large amount of liquid that we believed to be blood, and once they did a presumptive test, it in fact was confirmed to be blood. They executed a search warrant on that car. Additional amounts of dark colored liquid that was tested positive for blood was discovered in the trunk and in the passenger compartment. Collections of blood were obtained by the SLED forensic crime scene agents and were submitted to SLED DNA lab for analysis compared to known standards of the victim. The analysis concluded the blood in the suspect vehicle was that of the victim. Also, a cell phone.
Uh-oh. What happened?
And likewise located in the suspect vehicle was a container of liquid bleach, germicidal wipes, and window cleaner. Further investigation on the suspect vehicle determined that a child safety seat was in the back, and then the child safety locks were activated on the door that would not allow someone the means of escape from the back of the suspect vehicle. The body in Clarendon County was also located in an area known to the defendant and near an area where the suspect recently resided, according to law enforcement sensitive databases and electronically access state maintained information.
Police arrested this man, 24-year-old Nathaniel Rowland, after a brief chase. He's charged with murder in the death of Sammy Josephson. As authorities launched their investigation yesterday afternoon, Rowland continued to post on his Facebook page. News 19 requested a background check on the suspect, and we also did a search on his crimes in the past. At this time, we found only minor traffic violations on his record and an open container violation out of Sumter. A key point the chief stressed was that Samantha got into the suspect's car thinking it was her Uber ride. The university sent out a message to students and parents today detailing safety tips. It said in part, "It has been a difficult week. Please know that your safety and well-being is our #1 concern. As you make plans for the weekend, remember the tenets of Stand Up Carolina. Be aware of your surroundings. Look out for one another." It goes on to say, exercise best practices when using services like Uber and Lyft. Look for clearly marked vehicles that match the description and license plate number in your app, and always ask the driver who he or she is there to pick up before opening the door. We care about you and are here for you. We'll have this full statement on our website and our News 19 app. Meanwhile, the school is also offering counseling. The Center for Health and Well-Being is open from 2 to 8 tomorrow. That's on Divine Street. Also, counseling is available 24/7 at the following number, 777-5223. Columbia police say Josephson was leaving Hardin Street near Bird Dog early Friday morning. Investigators later confirmed her body was found in Clarendon County off of Knowlton Road. The distance between Hardin Street and Columbia to the area where she was found is about 66 miles. News 19 spoke with residents who live on that dirt road, and they tell us they knew something was wrong when SLED arrived in their community yesterday afternoon.
Yesterday, around about 3 o'clock, I saw a lot of police cars coming like through the bottom. The police officer came to the car and he was like, "Do y'all know any Caucasian females that live around here?" I'm like, "No, it's only like a little black community. Like 30 people may live around here." And he was like, she's about 20, 21. I'm like, "Well, my daughter's 19, my niece 20, they maybe know her." Then she's like, "No, I think she's a little older." The scary situation is nobody usually comes through here. Like, it could have happened all time of night because it's a long dirt road. It go one way and out the other. It scares me because my daughter is a freshman in college, but she go right here to Sumter. But it's just scared to let you know you can't let your kids leave out your eyesight. You never know what might happen. It's just scary. It is heartbreaking. My heart goes out to her parents.
All of this happened over the course of 2 days, according to Columbia Police Chief Skip Holbrook. Our Chandler Mack gives us a full timeline of the events tonight.
At 1:30 a.m. Friday morning, USC student Samantha Josephson was hanging out with friends at the Bird Dog in 5 Points. She got separated from her friends and decided to get an Uber ride through her phone. At 2:09 a.m., Josephson saw a black Chevy Impala pull up to the curb and got into the vehicle, assuming it was her ride home. Hours later, her roommates were not able to get in contact with her. Then around 1:30 p.m., Holbrook says her roommates called the department, and from there, the department filed a missing persons report. Around 4 p.m., the Clarendon County Sheriff's Department responded to reports of a body being found in a rural area in the county. The body was found by 2 people hunting and was identified as Samantha by the department. At 5:07 p.m. Friday, as crews continued to look for clues and search for information, a Facebook account believed to be operated by Rowland was continuing to post status updates. None of the posts appeared to have anything to do with the killing. At 8:30 p.m. Friday, Columbia Police put out a missing person alert for Josephson. It included a photo of her, a surveillance image of her holding her cell phone, and the details that she'd last been seen at 5 Points. On March 30th, around 3 a.m., a K-9 officer on patrol looking for the black Chevy Impala made a stop on a Impala. The driver of the Impala, who is believed to be suspect Nathaniel Rowland, fled the scene on foot. Then the officer tracked him down, searched the Impala, and found what appeared to be blood in the car. From there, Holbrook says the department submitted various amounts of evidence to the lab. Labs have confirmed that the blood belonged to Samantha. At 6:05 a.m. Saturday morning, Seymour Josephson, Samantha's father, posted on Facebook that Samantha is no longer with us. It was the first public confirmation that she died. The post began being shared by many in the USC community. Throughout the morning and afternoon, police continue to gather evidence as they work to get a murder warrant on Rowland. Just before 7 Saturday, Columbia police held a press conference announcing the charges against Rowland and revealing for the first time publicly what they think happened in the hours after the killing. Chandler Mack, News 19, WLTX.
Governor McMaster responded to this tragedy. Tonight, he sent out a tweet saying, "Peggy and I are devastated and crushed over the Josephson family losing their beautiful daughter, Samantha. She was one of the brightest young stars at USC.
Sorry, I'm hoping to hear
join us
like
and
what they
pray for the
believe
Josephson
happened to
family."
her.
A USC professor says Samantha was the next Amal Clooney and even wrote her a letter of recommendation to get into law school. She shared more about their 2 semesters together with News 19's Emily Correll.
According to friends, Samantha Josephson was a sweet, outgoing girl from Robinson, New Jersey. One of Josephson's Spanish professors described her as having a spirit that was always cheery and bright.
Well, I'm just going to stop there because I don't see... okay, I don't see them saying anything. They're just talking about her as a person. And you know, what we want to do is we want to get down to business. We want to talk about what happened and not to say that she wasn't a very wonderful person. But the whole idea is we all know, being in this community, being in the ride sharing delivery community, ourselves, we know that things happen. Things keep happening in the ride sharing community to these wonderful people, including this you know, sorry, I'm trying to charge my phone. Including this, yeah, it's a scary story. The sad thing is this could have been any Uber driver. It has become the norm for us to just get into an Uber or a Lyft and be all right with it. But the fact of the matter is you have to be proactive and stop. If you are a passenger, please make sure you're getting in the right car, please. And we say this all the time on this particular show. We've had many times where we've showed many things happening to people where they got into fake Uber cars and then we're like, you know, they didn't ask the identity of the driver. They got into fake Uber driver car. So it's super important that you make sure that you're getting in with your face matches, the person, the license plate matches, the picture on the license plate, everything. You know, if it's a dude in the picture and you're getting in a car with a girl, something's wrong. Okay. So that is like story number 1. I was going to do this is big. This is big. This is a big news in the ride sharing community. And I was going to just do this as, a story earlier today, but I'm just so exhausted. I figured we'll just do it here and talk about it here, and maybe I can do a story later about it because I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about, you know, about this. This is devastating news. This is devastating. And I'm like, you know how many times I pick up, and it could be any university, Northwestern, we have Northwestern here. It could have been any one of those people too, or Loyola. And, you know, late at night, girls or guys that, you know, they get drunk. I've picked up drunk women alone. I'll tell you my story about, actually, this wasn't a university girl, but it was kind of funny. And the lady just lucked out that I'm a good person. And everybody that was getting in the car with me was a good person. But I don't know if I told you, this particular young lady, She might have been 21. She was very young, and she was 3 sheets to the wind. When I pulled up kind of behind her, but I can't remember, like there was a car in front of me or something. I couldn't quite pull up to her, and I said to her, "Ma'am," I called her on the phone, "Ma'am, I'm behind you. I'm right behind you." And she walked across the street to meet me, and I was like, "Oh, great!" And it was an Uber pool. This was at least a year ago. This was at least a year ago. I was a newer driver. I finally got her in my car because she was like confused, and we got her in the car, and she sat in the back seat, right here, and people were getting in and out. Most of them, I think all of them were women. Okay. And, every time I stopped for a pool, she would try to get out at their stop. She thought it was her stop. So, first of all, it was bad that she was even drunk alone in Chicago. But sometimes when you're alone, when you're a woman, and you're drunk, you're not, it's good to be in packs. A lot of times I'll pick up women, and they're the smart women. I mean, I'm not saying this girl was dumb, but this girl certainly was naive. Okay, there's a difference between not knowing and not being, and then being naive. And she certainly, you don't go alone away from your group. Okay, and so she got in, and she kept getting off at every pool ride. And we're like, "Ma'am, please, we got to get her back in the car. This is not your stop." And she ended up getting sick, and I had nausea bags. And I'm just like, "Ma'am, take that with you. Take that with you." So she doesn't realize that I saved her a cleanup fee. And then when she gets out, and I get her to her place, and she drops that nasty bag next to right by a car, like the front passenger, the front car door. And I'm thinking that guy is going to be so grossed out in the mornings. The guy, yeah, and she doesn't know how lucky she was. Anybody in the car could have tried to do it. I'm up here driving. I can't watch her and make sure she's not, like, somebody's not trying to molest her or take advantage of her, take her money. Somebody could have taken her wallet, and she wouldn't have known till the next day, and I wouldn't have known, but everybody that was getting in and out of the car were like women, and, they were like older women, so it seemed like they weren't gonna prey on her. I'm saying, not that they, that she's completely exempt, but the point of the matter is you need to use your head. Okay, you need to use your head, especially we are so much more than drivers. Yes, exactly. I absolutely love this job. I do. Everybody's like, "You're going out there, and you're standing up, and you're all you're doing complaining." I'm like, "No, I'm not complaining. I'm saying there's something wrong, and we got to do something about it, and I am doing something about it." And the idea that just being a driver, oh, you're just a driver, you're just expendable, that's wrong. What I in this case, I ended up helping this lady out. She could have woke up the next morning with a cleaning fee of, 200 or 250 cleaning fee, however much. And then the thing is all these people were taking pool, trying to be cheap, save a buck or two, but they had to put up with that, so anyway, let's get on to our next story. Let's see here. All right. So this is another story of a Uber driver gone bad. It's Uber driver in Boston was arrested Saturday morning on 2 counts of rape, according to Massachusetts State Police. In approximately 1:15 a.m., State police received a report that a woman had been sexually assaulted by a Uber driver at Storrow Drive near the Hatch Memorial Shell in Boston. A preliminary investigation led to the arrest of 37-year-old driver Dawuda Mayanja of Waltham. I can't say the name. I apologize. I hate it when people slaughter my name. It really upsets me. I do apologize. So they said this guy is currently being held on $25,000 bail and pending arraignment in Boston Municipal Court on Monday. The police say the victim, an adult woman, was transported to the hospital for treatment. State police crime scene services personnel and state police chemists collected a potential evidence for forensic analysis. Don't be dirty. Don't do bad things. Don't do bad things. Even if we get background checks and even if we were to have fingerprints. This guy, the one that killed the woman, what did he have? Just one, like an open receptacle or something? I don't know. He didn't have much on his background, and he still ended up turning out to be a murderer. So just because you don't have a background doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen. And I think eventually we're going to have to change what's going on. Okay, so I did that one. We'll turn that one off. And I did this one. We'll turn that one off. You guys are like, come on. Okay, one of the things that I really, this is where I was looking. This is one of the things that I found that, before I get into talking about people's stories, I wanted to go over safety issues. I don't know if you all are, if everybody is aware, but if you have a service animal, if you have a person to come up with an animal, there's 2 questions you're allowed to ask them. Only 2 questions. You're not allowed to harass them. You're not allowed to give them a hard time. The only thing you're allowed to say is your dog, and it can only be a dog. A cat is not considered a service animal. Okay, is your dog a service animal? And then you can ask them what type of service do they perform. And that is the only 2 questions that you can ask them. Okay, you can't say, where's their vest? I don't see no papers. You can't ask them for papers. Nothing. So let me go over, and this is another thing. I know people don't like dirty dogs in their car, but if you have a service animal, the thing is if you have a service animal in your car, they're not going to be dirty. If they do get fur on your car, I don't think a lot of people know this, but all you have to do is take a rubber glove and wipe the seat, and the hair will come off. It's like magic. Though if you go to the freaking store and buy some surgical gloves, easy peasy. What I do is I go to the dollar store. I bought some long dish gloves. I keep them in my car for cleaning up puke messes. But you can also use that long dish glove that I bought at the dollar store, only $1. Wipe off the hair off the seat. Easy peasy, and you're not breaking the law or giving people a problem. With that said, I'm going to go over this video. Oh, is it? Doggone. Let me see. Here we go. Are we not having sound? Let me try this.
Yeah, I know he's sitting it up, but I cannot take Dad if he's not in the cage.
He's a service dog. He's not going to go into a cage.
I wouldn't be able to take your dog.
You realize it's federal law, right?
Yeah, I know, but I've never. I don't know.
I think a lot of rideshare drivers think that they're above the law. In reality, they're not.
He's a 71-pound lab. This man has cerebral palsy.
With, opening doors and drawers and picking up items that I've dropped. You know, I've always got a partner by my side.
He says people refuse him all the time because he didn't have a wheelchair.
But see, if he's shit in my car, what am I gonna do?
If he poops in my car.
That's not how trained service dogs function. Sir, it's federal law, and I have to get to an appointment.
It's federal law that I have to take him, not that I have to be on my seat.
He's not used to traveling on the floor.
Put him on the floor, you're gonna see.
He's too big.
No,
He
put
won't
it, you
do
will
it.
see. You will see. Put him, you will see.
For the longest time, I would experience this, where I would call and I would get into a conversation with these drivers who would refuse to take us. And I would call and I'd report it, and it quickly escalated into, well, the driver said this never happened, and the driver said they didn't say that. Unfortunately, we live, I think, in a space right now where video and things you can actually demonstrate and document carry much more weight.
It says that some of these drivers have been banned. And he got a phone call only once. The rider experience is upset. Drivers who use the Uber app agree to accommodate riders with service animals. Some drivers actually accept this guy.
I totally agree with you. I'm not denying you, my friend. But the thing is, do you think you can put your dog? Don't put them on the seat, though. I'm just trying to ask you this: can you not put them on the seat?
It's federal law.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. Come in, man. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to understand you, like as a friend. I don't want to.
With educational mode. But the challenge is that by the time the conversation has escalated into, well, it's federal law, and by the time I've uttered that sentence, it's very clear that there's a degradation of service.
Yep.
When I get a driver who actually obeys federal law and makes it a seamless experience, I almost feel grateful, which is a really weird thing.
He says he doesn't want to pursue legal action. He wants to spread education and awareness.
On this idea that you get it when you need it, and it only seems to apply to folks who are able-bodied or who don't have any sort of extra needs. I want to have a discussion where you can't hide behind a single statement and say, we're done. Because that's all that's been happening. That's all that's been required of them is to issue a statement that says, okay, we took care of this fire with this kid who's making waves about this.
Okay. So, yeah, if you have a service animal and he shows up, just make sure you wipe up. It's not that hard. And you know what? You know how many times I've had seen people come into the rooms, into the driver rooms. I get a lot of my information from the driver's rooms, and it really upsets me because I have friends that are disabled, and it upsets me if somebody is disabled and people are complaining about having to stop and wipe the fur off their seat. First of all, it's not hard. I mean, if you don't have a rubber glove, a wet cloth will also get the hair off. And I think I'm going to make a how-to video about this particular thing. and just a damp cloth. You don't have to get your seats wet. So really, a lot of people don't realize how easy it really is. Oh, I'm going to have to vacuum. It's going to be such a hard thing. I'm going to have to go to the vacuum cleaner, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take a bunch of time. They go into the rooms. They complain about it. It is your right. You decided to do this job. And when you decided to do this job, you agreed not to give these people a hard time. Okay? Bottom line. So I really like this. Yeah, it really comes down to lack of driver training for these companies. Exactly. Bingo. These companies, all they do is send us an email. Oh, make sure you're picking up service animals. But yet they aren't sitting down with us, talking to us. I don't even know if Lyft is still doing driver trainings, but at least Lyft, when I started, Lyft actually sat down with us and told us you got to pick up service animals. And it's just, it is federal law, but I mean, the other thing is, how would you like to be in this guy's shoes? Every single time the guy wants to argue, don't let them sit on my seat. Make sure they sit. This is a 70-pound dog. It's going to be very difficult to get him to just sit down on the floor. He probably just wants to sit up on. I mean, would you want to sit on the floor? I mean, really? I know he's got fur, but it's not like he's a long-haired animal. He was just he was like a lab. The picture of the dog, he was a lab. He was a white lab. So a blonde lab. I mean, really. So I understand, but when you put yourself out there, this is what you have to expect, So let me get down to getting into our other material here. I do have other material that I have a whole bunch on my phone. Could a driver collect a cleanup fee for the service animal? Absolutely not. Nope. And really, I mean, you're just wiping fur off. Nope, you can't collect a cleanup fee for service animals. So, all right. Let the games begin. Okay, here's one. 4 passengers get in my car tonight. They immediately start saying F the police and screaming at a cop we pass. When I told them it made me uncomfortable, they asked me if I was a pig lover. And then they called me a fat, I'll just say the C word, a fat C word. When I told him that I wouldn't like the way they were talking. So I pulled over and told them to get the F out of my car. What in the heck is wrong with people? Yeah. Hey, Tony B, Top Speed Review in the house. Yeah. Yeah, Dark Road Run says, 5-star passenger. Seriously. So, this is quite a long one. Let me see if I got all of it. I got almost a year in 840 rides, 2 pukers, and 1 sexual assault. Yes, I reported him. He grabbed the back of my neck and cussed all the way home and went in for the full kill by grabbing for several squeezes, 3 by 5, my left breast. Yes, left, as I was driving and trying to shake him off, commanding him to not touch me. I tell my story to say this. I'm so mad I don't have a dash cam. Get one. You must have one. Pawn shop, $15. I'm a fool. Second, I'm desensitized. I've desensitized myself. It starts with the front creep seat. When the arms nudging, when the obnoxious advances. Uber says that's a violation of rights there. I got so okay with that as a typical behavior. I'm seriously considering my continuance as a driver. I don't want to get used to it. I told him not to touch me 3 times before he grabbed my breast. He tried to steely seat wipes too. I was afraid to confront this drunk man on his behavior. He was small and ratty. Second, I desensitized myself. It started with the front. Oh, wait. He was small and ratty. Let me see. Okay. In fear of further physical assault. Okay, so she didn't want to. Now I'm home. I'm in bed and I can't sleep. The kicker is my husband's name is Joey, so I wouldn't be forgetting this anytime soon. I guess I didn't take a picture of she did have a picture, but apparently she just got sexually assaulted. So, all right. Which, I mean, this is what I don't like, is when people start, oh, just shut up and deal with it. Or, oh, just be quiet. You should be grateful. This is not okay. This is not okay. And it's a problem if people think it's okay. And it's not right. So let's see what people are saying in the room. I'm almost at 80,000 miles. Good deal. I am too. Just let it go, Top Speed. Oh, Top Speed, are you cussing somebody out? Message automatically held for review. Top Speed at Dark Road Run. You know how I am. I don't know when to stop. No, don't argue. Don't argue. You know, there's a reason why you can't swear in the room. Okay. So Friday night, I spoke with a passenger about how kindness can go a long way and that it doesn't hurt either party involved when you're being a decent human being. Tonight, I put my kindness to test. I got a ride request from someone that was 13 minutes from me. When I approached the passenger pickup location, she has a few bags and she was standing near the stop sign rather than in the driveway. She loads up the car with her bags and she heads toward her destination, the airport. Mind you, it's 2:30 a.m. We had a 38-minute ride to the airport. Most airports don't start up security again until 4 or 5 a.m. We start talking and she mentions that she needs to vent. I jokingly say, I'm just your Uber driver, not like I'm ever going to see you again. I'm all ears. She tells me about how she's visiting her best friend and is supposed to be leaving later today, but their night went terrible wrong, so she snuck out while they slept in order to Uber. Her fight isn't until 2 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. Her flight is until 2 in the afternoon. She was very upset, sobbing through the whole story, and it broke my heart because I couldn't imagine being in that situation. Oh, congratulations on 500 subs. at this point, we're about 20 minutes from the airport. She's on the phone with a friend now. And that's when it happened. I wasn't sure of what the outcome would be, but I took my chances and asked her if she was hungry. She said yes. So I told her, let's get breakfast. She enthusiastically agreed and kept telling her friend, I'm getting breakfast with my Uber driver. This is a cute story. I could literally hear the excitement in her voice. I finished the ride early and we headed to Denny's. It was quiet for the most part, but I could tell it's exactly what she needed. Positive human interaction. She ended up paying for the breakfast and was able to find a hotel for the morning until her flight. Her whole mood changed for the time I was dropping her off. It was an amazing feeling to know I could do that for her. It's the little things that count the most. Never let negativity win. Positivity. Let's see. Positivity will always have a greater outcome, and I hope none of you ever lose sight of that. It does not hurt anyone to be kind. I agree. Tony, I don't know what you're saying. No llena, Nina, algún te llamo gordo in el chat in YouTube. I'm Nana. I don't know what you'll talk to me later. I think you said. Okay. Yo hablar contigo más tarde. Okay, so that was a nice little thing. One thing I wanted to show you is there was this really funny not funny, it was sad kind of. So I saw in one of the YouTube rooms this guy posting pictures of, well, this is kind of, let me see if I can turn down no, not the ringtone. No. I want to show you the picture that I found, but I got to turn down my brightness. There we go. Okay. All right. So I saw this guy. Do you see that car? Somebody, can you really see it very well? Let me see if I can get the other picture. I don't know if you can see it. It is kind of, the back end of this car was like super bashed in. There was one in the daylight here. This is kind of in the daylight. Can you see it? So he put in, he said there was a truck that so he said there was a truck that beat the back end of the car, and he was offering a $500 fine for any clues leading to the person that came out with any information. So I thought that was pretty crazy. If you know anything about Chicago, it's just not a good idea to park on the roads in Chicago without having full coverage insurance, because you can wake up and somebody you could end up waking up and a drunk person could have bashed into your car, hit and run. So I thought this was a funny post, so I thought I'd tell you. Seeing the new self-driving Uber car at my son's robotic competition Saturday. I flattened the tires. You're welcome. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, I do need to get a dash cam, says Tony. He's right. He's right. I need a dash cam. Okay. Yeah, that's the one with the guy that was, I have so much more on my other phone too. I will have to go. I got a ride from someone called Hot on Lyft. I get to the place. It's a police compound down in Jonesboro. Cop cars everywhere. I get to the building and someone is there. I asked for her name and she said Hot. And I asked her how old she is. She told me 14. Nah, I'm good. I politely informed her that it is illegal for me to transport minors. She tried to argue, but I wasn't doing it, especially not in front of the police station. I was in a generous mood, so I didn't charge her the fee. She didn't get rude or anything, more so desperate to get home, but I just wasn't having it. Yeah. And kudos to you, because the next guy, the sad thing is, yes, Tony, I agree with you. The sad thing is the next guy's going to pull up and just take her. Later that night, I picked up these two Witten women. I don't know what Witten is. The oldest is 18. The youngest is 17. They're drunk. On the way home, I overhear a conversation. Mom is on the way. She's 10 minutes away from the house. Yep, 10 minutes. We are 4 minutes away. I get there and they have a gate to open and get into the home, and they open it. I get in before both of their feet hit the ground. The gate started to open again. The mom came in her Uber. She ran to the back of the house quicker than a black man running from the Klan. Okay. Mom saw me, asked, "May I help you?" As anyone would if they saw a car they didn't know in their gated property. I told her I'm just the Uber driver that dropped off your two drunk young ladies that ran frantically to the back of the house upon your arrival. Nothing more. She smiled and said thank you and asked if there was anything. Sorry, page flip. She smiled and asked thank you and asked if there was anything else. I told her a guy named Cullen ordered the ride. She asked, he's the 18-year-old's boyfriend that buys alcohol for her. You said they're drunk? I said yes, and the 17-year-old is on the verge of throwing up. She said she's going to have the boyfriend arrested, thanked me, and slipped me $100 bill. Woo-woo! Yeah. Yeah, she could get him arrested. Yeah, and she probably didn't like Cullen. So, let's see. Tony says, dang, that was cold. Yeah. He said, go to sleep, Mandy. As the OJs once said, for the love of money. Yeah. Okay. So let me get the other things. Ugh. Hi, kitty. Are you bored? Hi, kitty. Are you bored? You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? Come on. Come on. Okay. Okay. Say hi. Say hi. She was sitting back there, like looking like I'm so bored. Mom won't let me play with the curtain that's behind her. Usually when I put the curtain up, she goes, yeah, I'm going to play with the bottom of the curtain. Say hi. I had to bring her to the vet the other day. She had a infection in her eye. Well, not really an infection. She just, maybe a cold in her eye or something. And they were like, oh, she's so beautiful. I was like, yes, we know. Okay, go ahead. It's like, now that you showed me off, I'm going to go lay down on my bed. All right. So, now I got cat fur in my mouth. That's the only problem. You end up eating. I'm probably eaten a lot of cat fur in my life. Okay, so we got 4 people in the room and we got 3 thumbs up. Trying to go for 20 thumbs up. Oh, I thought this was pretty funny. Oh no, that's not this one. Okay, that was about the girl. Here's a delivery one. The delivery note says, deliver to door. Please give me some tomato catch ups and a straw. Okay, some people don't understand that when you put that in the delivery instructions, we don't see it until just before we get to your door. We don't see it for a while. Okay, new member. Can someone explain to me the promotions? I click on them and nothing happens. Will I get a 4.1 and money with these or others? What do they mean? Let me just say, you guys will laugh. Can you see it? No. Yeah. Wait. Basically, it shows the one. This is for Uber Eats. Apparently, in that particular market, they haven't gone to the flat surge yet, but it basically shows here we go. It shows, she's like, I click on them and I don't get, nothing happens. Yeah. I'm like, okay. So here's another question. I think it's a question. The other day, the Lyft app was not working properly, and I thought they fixed it, but I had a long ride to the airport. Somehow the ride dropped halfway to the airport, but the GPS kept going. When I went to confirm the drop-off, the app didn't show the ride. When I contacted Lyft, they said I won't get paid because they can't verify the trip happened. I'm asking if they can contact the customer and verify. How do you avoid this from happening? Do you have a third-party way to confirm the ride happened? That was like half of my day, and I can't afford that kind of risk. Okay, so whenever I have app problems and if people cancel on me and they're in my car, the immediate thing that I do is I take a picture of, I take a screenshot at that very minute. I pull over the side, take a screenshot, or I at least wait until I get to the next stop sign, take a screenshot, and then I always take a screenshot of me driving them to their destination. If you take a screenshot of you driving them to their destination, then you're golden. Because why would you be at that destination if you didn't have that screenshot? I mean, really? Yeah, screenshot, guys. You can screenshot the map. Why would you be there? Why? unless you were driving that passenger and they ordered that ride. And if their app is not working, now they did come out after that whole Lyft thing went bad. They came out and said, oh, we're sorry. We're going to give it all back. Screenshot is a good idea. Fat Man says, never drive them off the platform. It's against the law. No. And that's not what I'm saying. I am saying if they cancel, toss them. Very true, says Fat Man. Okay. You might think so, but I feel like if I have enough proof that if they cancel, I'm not causing more problems than what it's worth. I'm going to just continue the ride and drop them off where it's at. It's not worth it for me to, only in that case. I'm not letting other people that if they have already had a pre-order ride in the ride, it says that in the app, this is where they belong. If they're not, once they cancel the ride, I already have my directions of where I'm supposed to be. And I don't give a rat's ass. I'm bringing them where they're going to go. And I'm not going to have a fight or argument or end up getting my face bashed in like a lot of Uber drivers, especially considering I'm a female. It's better to have a good offense than a good defense is a very good offense. So if they are already in my car, I am not going to have problems with them. If they cancel, then you submit a claim to Uber. They can deactivate you because that proves that you have that and they didn't pay you in cash, which is that what they tell you they're going to tell you. Well, that's not what they've told me. That I've read, and they said I have to continue the ride. If they cancel, I have to continue the ride. Not to mention, if you're in an accident, you're screwed. Okay, let me restate this. I have read in the Uber rules, they tell you that you have to finish the ride, and then you can call Uber support, and they will especially. I've done this. Okay. I've done this. They're not going to deactivate me for somebody getting in my ride. They're not. They've already stated this. Okay. If somebody gets in my ride and I'm driving them, they're not going to deactivate me for bringing them to their location and not continuing to finish the ride. They tell you they want you to give good customer service. Okay. So if somebody cancels the ride, what I do is I screenshot where I brought them. Okay. That is it. And then I call Uber on the phone because Uber has not deactivated me for doing this, because I am not going to argue and say, get the F out of my car over something stupid like this. Yes. Maybe if there is an accident and they are in my car, maybe they wouldn't be covered. But what are the chances of that? It's more likely that I will get my face beat in and end up in the hospital because this person in my car is mad that I'm trying to kick them out than it is that I'm getting in an accident just for finishing a ride. Okay? So I'm not going to argue with you. You can say, oh, that's wrong. You're not going to get covered by the insurance. You're not insured with Uber, blah, blah, blah. The customer, Uber tells you they say, please, they also tell riders you shouldn't be riding off the platform. You're also not insured by Uber. You can do whatever, but for me, I cancel and they're out. Okay, you're also a guy. I cannot cancel. I'm not going to cancel when por favor, salir, ir de cocina. No darme difícil tiempo. Yo hablar ahorita. So, all right. So, with that said, let's move on. After some tips, you go back during a break and after someone tips, you can go back during a break and thank them in the comments under Rate Your Passenger. I think this is a good idea. Okay, so I also found this. The world's shortest rides. Okay. A 0.01 miles ride from the wedding venue to the bar next door. This driver that took his ride to his destination 200 feet away because it was too cold for him to walk. I'm sure you guys have been there, but I thought this was funny. The 0.05 mile ride, a driver had to give two girls carrying shopping bags from one store to the other. This girl asked her driver to take her 2 blocks from the pickup point since she couldn't walk that far in her heels. Batman says 200 feet away from, he stood outside waiting on the Uber. Yeah. The driver that got stuck in traffic in order to take his ride from one side of the concert venue to the other to meet his friends. The 0.02 mile ride from one hotel to the other. The ride that called an Uber to take him around the corner because it was raining and he didn't want to get wet. Yeah, that's kind of typical. The driver that had to drive 15 minutes in order to take a rider across the street. I also throw those rides out. I don't know if I got this. The ride that lasted only 90 seconds and covered only 0.04 miles because the rider couldn't decide whether she wanted to use an Uber or drive to her destination. Yeah. The rider that asked his driver to take him across a busy and kind of bigger than normal intersection. The fare ended up being $4. I had a request to have a ride about 100 or so feet, told her no, and I canceled. The girls that were drunk enough that they called an Uber to take them from one hotel bar to the next, which was around the block. This guy asked for an Uber to take him around the block. The drop-off point ended up being just 95 feet from the pickup point. So this, I think, is a delivery one. I did a bad thing. I'm in line at McDonald's, but the car in front of me is a Lyft driver. I'm not alone. So I'm guessing she did a bad thing, like she went to McDonald's, brought her passenger to McDonald's. I don't know. All right, so here's one thing. This has been on my mind for a while. Have you had passengers falsify information to Uber and Lyft just to get a free ride out of you? I just had one, but not today. Stupid person, I got my crap back. Okay, so this person, this is a little bit. She says, I messed up. Help me. This customer support has me waiting so long. And then people are like, so I had an order and McDonald's was unable to make it because they were out of stuff as always. And I contacted customer so I can replace this something else and accidentally exited out of the entire order. So, hi, Dustin is driving. He says, what's going on? She drives like a pro and stays classy like a lady. Yeah, thank you, Dustin. So, what would you do, Dustin, if you had an Uber Eats ride You had an Uber Eats ride and you show up to pick up the food and they don't have some of the things. You're going to McDonald's and they don't have some of the things on the order. What would you do? Fat Man, what would you do? And what would you guys do? I don't know what is going on with Dark Road Run. What would you do? He says Dustin in the house. Yeah. What would you guys do? I'll tell you what I would do after you. I would ask where their stuff is. So would you call the customer and let the customer know and give really good customer service? I had an Uber Eats ride last year that was being delivered next door. I gave them an attitude. Dustin is driving, says at Dark Road Run, and he has his glasses. He's doing the Uber driver. Fat Man, if they couldn't make me the order, I make them call the customer. We aren't able to call until we start the trip. Okay, I'll tell you what I would do. I'd cancel it. I'm not paid to wait. I was going to say that, Fat Man. I would cancel it. I would say, okay, you guys got to call the customer because I am here to pick up the order and drive it to the customer. I'm not getting paid for wait time. I haven't even started the trip yet. If you didn't get it made for me, sorry, I got other deliveries to do. Yeah. People, yeah, I wouldn't wait either. Yeah, a lot of I've gone into McDonald's and I'm buying McDonald's, and then I see the Uber driver on the phone with the customer. I'm like, excuse me, that's not your job. Your job is to pick up the order. Yeah, he's a Smakovich. Yep, your job is to pick up the order. Your job is to pick up the order and drive the order and be kind when you drop it off. That's it. We don't care. I mean, you know what? Seriously, we don't get paid for doing anything else but picking the order up and dropping it off. That's it. That's it. I also tell the restaurant to log into their portal and take the item down. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they can do that. They can do that in Uber Eats. You know what I do? I just cancel the order. I do. I just cancel the order and move on. Because guess what? Y'all, I'm like, seriously, guys, I am only getting paid to put the order in the bag and go to the house and hand them the order, especially for a McDonald's order. If it were something different, I might throw some extra napkins and stuff in there, but no, seriously, you're not paying me enough. So let's see, I got so many props. Okay, this is another one. What would you do if you showed up at the restaurant saying we weren't doing Uber anymore? Yes, the restaurant has complete control over their stuff via a portal. Okay, I would, if they said we're not doing Uber anymore, I would cancel the order and go on to a different. I mean, that's it. There's nothing you can do. I just say, okay, bye. I could call the Uber Eats line. If they said they're not doing Uber anymore, I could say, well, they're not doing Uber anymore. Y'all need to do something about this because they're not doing their Uber anymore. After driving for Uber for almost 5 years with a high rating. Oh, I've been deactivated. This morning, a woman called for her daughter, and when I got there, her daughter was in a wheelchair, and could not even stand up to get into the car. It was huge wheelchair that couldn't be folded. I told her I couldn't take her because the wheelchair would not fit in my car and that I could not pick her up. She said I discriminated against her because of her disability, and now I'm permanently deactivated with no chance of being reactivated. I'm attaching a picture of the type of wheelchair she had that they expected me to put in the back of my Honda Civic. They claimed I discriminated because I wouldn't put her assistive device in my car when our community standards state that we are only required to take assistive devices to the extent that we can. So I'll show you. I would not be able to fit this in my car. I don't know what you think. That's a pretty big. I mean, there's a reason why they have Uber Wave. You can just say, well, yeah, you have a lawsuit to the driver who got deactivated. The problem is drivers get deactivated and nobody's going to do a lawsuit because we have the arbitration clause. So he says, whoa, Mini Smakovich. Yeah, this is BS. It's super BS, guys. Super BS. And I don't think that was wrong. The guy just couldn't accommodate her. He wasn't like being rude. So this guy has a question. Uber recommended we use their dang, I say dang, but because I'm trying to keep it clean here, guys. Their dang navigation, trying to be classy like a lady. But Uber navigation sometimes takes you the wrong way, one way, or asks you to turn where you are not supposed to turn. Although it has its own advantages, but for me, I will always stick with Waze. What about you? All right, Waze. And Waze does some crazy crap too. It'll bring you down the alley. All these navigation systems are flawed. You have to be able to use your brain. There's a reason why I really don't believe that these self-driving cars, he says Google Maps, never Waze. So let me read what he says. I wouldn't even attempt that. If the rider can't walk, you are not required to transport them because you're not trained. They need a minivan. Well, there is Uber Wave where they can, if the rider can't stand up and like pivot to sit in your car, you can accommodate them by having an Uber. I would have called an Uber Wave. I would have showed her how to call an Uber Wave. So, I mean, if they're unavailable, then there's not much she can do. So he says Uber Wave isn't available in all markets. Yes, I realize that too. The problem is Uber puts a lot of this stuff on us as drivers. Oh, we're just going to deactivate you willy-nilly over stuff. This dumb thing. There we go. We're just going to deactivate you willy-nilly, and there's no recourse. Fat man, they'll need to call a medical transport service. Well, see, I understand that it is part of the law that you're supposed to transport people, but if you cannot accommodate I personally, I couldn't be able to load that thing. I wouldn't be able to load that chair in a car. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I would try to be as nice as I could. Should anyone come upon the situation, call Uber support immediately. Have Uber cancel. Exactly. That's exactly what I would do. I would have Uber talk to the girl. That's what I would have done. So I just ordered as a customer, and I think I almost got scammed. LOL. This was such an odd experience. I was watching the map because I didn't want him to knock and wake up the kids. I see him pull up in front of my house, but he just sat there and didn't get out. I looked down at the app to call him and let him know he's at the right house, and it shows the timer. He called but hung up before it actually started ringing. So I opened the door and flagged him down. He finally came up, and he didn't want to walk up and risk falling because it's dark. And I can't confirm or deny whether the restaurant is at fault for this or him. But I had a mott stick missing. Wow. And the thing is, I don't know if you guys watched my ordering Uber Eats video, but they were rude as F to me. The customer service, I don't like the this customer service for Uber Eats. I would rather do DoorDash or Grubhub or whatever other, don't use Uber Eats. That's my personal feeling. It's against the law to discriminate state services to handicap. However, it is not against the law to refuse service to someone who can accommodate. Yeah, I would certainly I would be on. I like that thing. I would call Uber support. That's what I would have done. Well, I'm ready for these double tips, but apparently so is everyone else. No pings for me. Is anyone? I just saw on the map. It was like a map. It was all lit up. This is what is very frustrating. You're in a zone. It's you're supposed to be. It's red. It's all red all over on the map. It says it's busy, but you don't get called for 15 minutes. Yeah. Let me see. Went to pick up park in the parking lot. As I was walking up close to the restaurant, I almost slipped and fall on the grease. Oh. Yeah, let me see this. I'll tell you this. Slipped and fall in the grease all over the place near the building. It appears to be falling from the kitchen exhaust fan. I had to sit there and wipe the bottom of my shoes off with a bunch of Kleenex before I could even put the walk to my car. I don't know. Do you guys know anything about that? I mean, I would imagine that if your store is getting grease all over the floor, all over the ground, you can get in trouble for that. Okay, so this is an Uber Eats. Does anyone else drive with a partner? My wife goes out with me all the time. It helps, especially at night in some of the weirder areas. It's nice to know I have someone backing me up. I haven't had any complaints about it, but I've seen some weird looks from customers when they notice I'm not alone. What do you guys think? Do you guys go out? I know, Fat Man, I know you go out. Do you bring your partner? Dustin is driving. Is he still in the house? Do you guys bring somebody with you? Dark Road Run says he drives with Jesus. Oh, I never met Jesus before. That's cool. I'm an expert in the Disability Act because I'm of my apartment leasing and real estate experience. He says, if grease is coming from the ceiling, the hood is very clogged and dirty, and it won't be long before the place goes up in flames. He says, I don't do Uber Eats anymore. When I did, I brought Chris. Good deal, buddy. Good deal. That's why I do Uber Eats, because I can bring my spouse. Oh, this is kind of a funny one. He's delivering to Delilah. She's getting a 10-piece buttermilk crispy chicken tenders meal and a Big Mac meal. And he says, hey there, Delilah, with your tenders. Oh, so crisp. You're just half a mile away, so I'll be here in a jiffy. Yes, it's true. I've got some Uber Eats for you. I'm coming true. I thought that was funny. I just had a gun pulled on me. The customer put in the neighbor's address. Can you report them for that? What do you say? What do you say, fat man? Would you call and report that? I would definitely call. If you pull a gun on me, I will call. Yes. If I'm at your front door, yeah, I would call. Apparently she went to the neighbor's door, but if you're knocking at the neighbor's door, if you're just knocking, there's no reason you're going to have a gun pulled on. Yes, of course, you can report and call the police. Yeah, you can report and call the police. The problem is it's a neighbor's house, so you're on the neighbor's property, so technically they could even shoot you and there's nothing you can do. That's really hard. It's not a threat to your life to have a car in your driveway. Exactly. Okay, so this one says the list of restaurants that act like you're invisible. McDonald's, White Castle, Golden Crust. I don't know what Golden Crust is, but I went into White Castle. I ordered one thing. I tried to get a veggie slider or something like that, and we don't have those. And it was just so greasy. The place was dirty. I was like, nah. So I left. Okay. Most states, the homeowner can't shoot you until you make entry, and any gun owner knows this. Oh, okay, good. So if I'm knocking on his door and there appears to be no threat, I don't know if he can pull the gun on me. I don't know, but I would definitely call the police. Okay. He said this is the weirdest delivery note he's ever gotten. This is from Mike. He says, deliver to the door. Tell Allie that Mike wants to eat her butt. I guess. I guess that's a pretty weird delivery note. So, let's see. It's the most I ever gotten for a tip. It was the most I ever gotten. Okay, so I guess, a trip. I guess he does Uber Eats and he got a $46 trip and he was really super excited. So he got $46. Cool. I wouldn't repeat that. I'd just hand it over. Yeah. Yeah. Is it unprofessional to buy something at the restaurant as you are picking up your delivery? What say you? Well, I guess he went from Fair Oaks. He was in California all the way to Rosemont. I guess he went a long way. He says it's very unprofessional. I do it. I do. If I show up at only at like McDonald's, if I'm thirsty, I'm getting something to drink. Yeah. Go offline and take your lunch break. Who cares? If I'm thirsty and I'm pulling up to McDonald's, I'm gonna get a drink. I'm not buying food and all that. I'll just I at least get something to drink, Already there already, so. Okay, is $7 or $8 good enough for a 17 to 18 miles trip? What do you say? Dark Road Run and Fat Man, and I don't know if Dustin's still in the house. Would that be enough? Good enough for a $7 to $8 trip, or a 17 to 18 mile trip? $7 or $8. A drink is one thing. I can be done in 10 seconds. I've been drivers pick up the order and then order lunch and sit down and eat it. Oh, no. We're just going through real quick. If I need, it sounds light. Yeah, it does sound light. For 17 to 18 miles, that doesn't seem like much. 7 isn't a good amount. It needs a dollar per mile. Yeah, exactly. So this guy says nursing homes are the worst. Just had one. I could not get in. No one was at the front desk, and the customer wasn't answering after 3 calls yet. I hope their chimichangas are good. Yum. He said, you got screwed. Yeah, for $7 or $8. Yeah. Somebody is one of these Deliv. Oh, this is Deliv page. I think I got this off of Deliv. Once I told me that if you're in a bind and you only have $1, you can use your PayPal prepaid card as credit and you can fill up your car with gas. Well, I tried and that won't work. Does anyone know anything about this and could help me out? Because right now I'm stranded with no gas. Thankfully, at the gas station, though, and I'm not quite sure what to do. Yes, nursing homes and schools are the worst. Leave it at a ant pile. Yeah, exactly. I don't know anything about that Deliv card. I did sign up for Deliv, but when I signed up for them, I had that rental car. I have to change it over, and I'm not healthy enough to even worry about that right now. So what do y'all think it is of being able to, but my personal feeling is if you get started and you don't have money, you don't have a full tank of gas, don't go out and drive. Don't drive. You have to have a full tank of gas or you don't drive. I don't care if you're delivering pizzas or if you're delivering whatever. They have customers in your car. Don't drive on them. Don't start your day out with a partial tank of gas. The trick only works on major bank debit cards, and you have to run it as credit. Not all gas stations authorize for $1. Oh, okay. So do you do Deliv, Fat Man? So that's what do y'all think of being able to purchase stock from Lyft tomorrow? I think it would be a cold day in hell before I invest in Uber, but I'm thinking Lyft might be more of something I'm willing to entertain. Saying don't drive doesn't always work. Sometimes you have to go out and make some money. I've been there. Yes. You're right. You do 2 rides and then you download the money into your account so that you can, So yeah, let's talk about stock options, guys. What do you think? No, I don't overdraw my account, so I get gas if I need it. You know what? I always get my gas right. I don't take my money out. I don't overdraw my account to get gas if I need it. I wouldn't either. So he says no stocks for me. I do have Robinhood. I signed up under the Aptopreneur, and I really, really like it. I do plan on buying, but I want to wait until the stocks drop really low, and then I'll buy one. I'm too sick right now to I can't even pay my bills right now. I overdraw is what I said. Oh, he said I overdraw is what I said. Oh, okay. I'm not buying Lyft right now. Maybe Lyft will go down. So this person's having problems, I think, with the Uber card. It says GoBank is terrible. I lost $80 due to them. Been trying to get it back for months. I just keep misfiling my claim. Yeah, GoBank sucks, but I thought it was part of Uber. That's why I signed up for it. I lost $250. Glad I stopped using GoBank. I'd rather pay the 50 cents and get the money on my bank account immediately. If you run it as credit, you can have 2 days to get the money back in. If you only borrow $20 from the bank, you can get it back in the same day. Oh, this is what this thing was. I missed a deposit for about 2 weeks. Uber insists they sent it over. I finally showed up with the date, and it showed it should have originally went over. I think it was GoBank issue. They have no service. I just have so I just have to wait. He says GoBank, and then everybody's saying GoBank is terrible. Oh, Dave is texting me. Dave, the Uber slave. Oh, maybe that was just a picture when he was texting me. Anyone else have issues with Uber payment going missing? Oh, that same guy. Greetings, newbie here. Sorry if this has been addressed before. How is Express Drive program lately? Been looking online and I've found most negative reviews, but a lot of them were older reviews and comments. Does anybody know? Yeah, Fatman says stop using GoBank. Chase is offering a $200 new account promo to get a bank account. So, anybody know anything about Express Drive? Well, I got time for one more. Listen to this. You're going to love this one. I thought this is funny. Instructions. Make sure the nuggets are fresh and crispy. I'm sick and tired of being lukewarm nuggets. You are paid to deliver, and I expect that I am delivered fresh food. Make sure I get more than 2 barbecue packets. Please don't smoke near my food, and make sure you get napkins. If any of these requests are not met, I will be contacting DoorDash. Cancel. Cancel. Oops. Your food fell on the ground. Sorry. Don't know anything. He says, don't know anything. It was a Wendy's order. Don't know anything about Express Drive. The first $209 you make in the week is there many markets that about you're going to get with Lyft. Don't order from McDonald's. Done. I'd cancel her order. He said, Dark Road Run says, wow, tough customer. I know. Isn't that ridiculous? That was a Wendy's order. That wasn't a McDonald's order, but make sure my nuggets are fresh and crisp. You know what? It takes a few minutes for us to drive from there to here. I mean, your nuggets might end up getting a little cooled off. You might want to just stick them buggers in the microwave or drive there your own dang self. All right. So we are going to call it a night. I appreciate you guys stopping in. We'll figure this thing out. Dark Road Run, I wanted to call you and ask you. They say I need to take this encoder and put it in something. I don't know. Maybe you know. I'm going to try and look around and figure out how to get this going again. Apparently, they're not doing Google Hangouts anymore. They're not using it anymore. So he said I would pick my nose and get a crunchy one, text her the picture, and ask her if it was crunchy enough. I can help you get it working. Thank you. Okay, so I got to call it a night, though. I have to use the restroom and, you know, so I can call you a little bit later, Dark Road Run. We'll get it figured out. But as always, hustle hard, but hustle smart. And if you don't hustle smart, take your broke booty home. Driver Lady Pro out. Hasta la vista, baby.